designer. Investing for my mama. Going hard all summer. 200 in the duffel. One Rolls Royce and umbrellas. Motivate my dog to do better. Going harder than whoever. Gonna have my daughter getting chauffeur. Going the farthest from regular flockers. Got them on sky too. Still think they shepherds. I'ma speak it till I seek it. Stock increasing like I'm Tesla. And I'm kicking it with your bitch. And she really like the rest. So they say the riches in the inches where the best is found. Can't do no competition going for the extra mile. So you gotta keep on pushing if they let you down. But get to my neck stacking money like it's Tetris now. And I don't wanna lecture you. I just want what's best for you. Man, this shit next for you. But it's gonna cost you just a little extra, bro. Ride through my city in some luxury. She know my love language, so she be touching me. I'm whipping the wide body with the custom seats.
Fuck with y'all little podcast.
Just another podcast, episode 126.
Podcast, Daddy.
I just made those. It's my baby. I'm gonna play them a lot, so get used to it. Make sure you
Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Hit the bell.
hit the goddamn bell. Chris, how many people fucking with us on IG?
Almost 3,500.
No, I'm not talking about the followers. I'm talking about the non-followers. I'm talking about the 300. What was it? Hold on, what's the number?
A lot.
This morning was 130K, and like
A lot.
128,000 y'all ain't hitting the follow button. Hit the follow button. It helps us out a lot. Hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. I got the ladies from the Pretty Exclusive Content Podcast here today. Y'all got to speak up. Get that energy up.
We're back.
Make sure all the same stuff I just said. Make sure you go to their page. You hit the subscribe. You go to their Instagram. You hit follow. It means a lot.
Yes.
So, where do y'all want to start? First of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How y'all feeling?
Good.
New Year, new you?
The same. Hungover. Little tweaks.
Little tweaks.
Any resolutions for anybody? Resolutions dead?
I never really.
Nobody cares.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I care about.
We do it every year just to watch people not do them.
Yeah.
I keep my promises to myself. I don't know nothing about that. But I don't really do resolutions. Like we building on what we was doing the year prior.
Facts.
So.
Yeah. True.
You know. Y'all don't seem like y'all care. Y'all turned up last night?
No,
I did.
No, I didn't at work.
I definitely did. That was too much.
Too much?
Yes.
Lydia, you turned up?
I turned medium. I was working,
Okay.
but you know.
Y'all had fun at work.
We got Lydia behind the camera today. Willie Beeman, Chris Featherson. Make sure you say the
Super
Featherson. Trill, Ross, and Riz. Again, go check out their content.
Thank you.
So since y'all been here, since the last time, we've niched down a little bit more. Our clip did well too. It did like 50K. It did all right. Yeah. Probably a little bit more than that if I collect like the Facebook and add them all together, but something pretty good. So we talk about relationships a lot here. We're trying to unite the black family. You know? Yeah, trying to. So where y'all want to start? Should you act as a wife/husband before marriage? Are women in competition with men? I got clips for these too, so we're going to react to some clips.
These are good.
I'm just going to pick one. Y'all don't know.
The first one. How did you ask?
Well, I asked maybe somebody was going to say something.
Should we go? Should you act as a wife or husband before marriage? Let's do that.
Thank you.
All right, let's do
do
that.
that.
Decisive.
I have to marry you, make you my wife, in order for you to start doing wife things.
I mean, I'm just a girlfriend.
Okay. Okay. Shrika, do you want to marry me?
Yes,
Why?
because you a provider, a protector. You watch out for me. I love you. Why would I not want to marry you?
I appreciate that, and I love you too. So what you're saying to me is, those are the things you want your husband to do.
Yes,
So you see your husband in me.
yes, exactly.
Okay. So the things I'm doing right now, even though I'm not your husband, you want your husband to do. And the crazy thing is, that's just who I am. Not because this is what I feel like I have to do. I do it because that's who Jeremy is. I'm already a husband.
Push your glasses up. React. You going first, Chris? Ladies, who was going first?
Go ahead. Y'all let the ladies go first, man. Y'all guess.
You talking to the mic.
I don't know. I think it's. I don't know. I need a minute. Let me think.
Let me kickstart it.
Go ahead.
All right. I think I'm going to just go for me. I'm not going to speak on what anybody else but me. What you get is what you going to marry. Like, I'm going to always be me. And then if you feel like I'm the one for you, because I'm not going to... I do wifey stuff and I'm not a wife. I'm going to just be honest. As a girlfriend, the only thing different I'm going to do is I'm not going to talk to other guys because we married now.
I appreciate the honesty.
But I cook, I'm going to keep the house straight. I'm going to still work. I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing when I'm your wife. So it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to, not entertain other people. Because now I know we locked in. You locked me in now. So I'm good.
So you talk to guys the whole time until you're married?
Yeah, if I'm your girlfriend, we married. I'm single until we married.
Is that the same for him?
Yeah, that's fine. Both of us. You single until you married. I know you're going to talk to people.
I'm with that.
Damn.
As long as it's congruent.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Can't argue with that shit.
I'm not with that at all.
I'm lying. I'm gonna keep that energy a lot longer than she can.
I'm not with it because I feel like if you can't be faithful without a ring, how am I to trust that you're gonna be faithful as soon as we get in a relationship?
How can I trust that you're gonna be a wife if you're not one before?
But
that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like you should.
Cool.
But to your point, I agree with that. But if a woman came to me and said, "We gonna do this until we get married," I'm gonna keep that energy the whole time. I'm gonna have no desire to marry you.
Facts.
Right.
So like I agree with you. So if you came to me and said you're gonna talk to other dudes, I'm gonna talk to other women. I'm gonna see who can stay out, who can hold that energy until the end.
That's a game, though.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm telling you, for me, marriage is a woman thing. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna selectively, voluntarily get into a monogamous relationship. If she's telling me she's not in a monogamous relationship, she's in my lane. Well, I'm gonna keep that energy with you.
And you know what? That sucks because marriage should be something that men look towards as a goal. But I think a lot of men look at marriage and we don't see a lot of perks in it.
I don't think just because you have a goal doesn't mean you should selectively move into it. You can have a goal and still say, until someone shows up in a certain way, I'm going to move into that. So it can be a goal, but I still think a woman has to come in and say, I'm going to move into that space with you. I'm not going to just say, hey, because it's a goal, I'm going to do it.
And the only reason why I say that is because if you're going to engage in a game, like you're going to say, oh, you're going to play that game, that's going to waste your time and take away your time from the potential wife you could be with in that time.
I disagree because I think for a man, you can spin plates and still, she can talk to other men, I can talk to other women. She may not be the one I end up marrying though. So if she's okay with her talking to other dudes and she's okay with me talking to other women, then she's already decided I'm open to you potentially not marrying me.
Facts.
May the best man win.
I'm with that shit all day.
It's a competition.
I'm with that. But it's going to be the same thing on the other side. All I'm saying is that it more than likely, if we're sharing a space, I'm going to keep that energy longer than she can because eventually I do believe I'll be the best man. And she'll know. And she'll come to me and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Then I'll make the decision and say, are you the best woman for me? But to me, I've always said this, a monogamy relationships is a feminine idea. It's what women want. Women show their love through monogamy, through exclusivity. They give that to you.
Excuse me.
I don't think men show their love through monogamy. That's not true. That when women talk about
it's
their
like a byproduct of
exactly. When
else,
women talk about their first thing, the first thing they don't say is, I want monogamy. The first thing they want is a provider, a protector. Monogamy is down the list. But women show their primary thing they give a man at the end of the day, like she said, is exclusivity. So she said in her marriage, the only thing different she's going to do is give exclusivity. That means that's the number one thing she values from being a girlfriend to a wife.
Is it?
It has to be. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Nah, hold on. Rule number 11. Don't lie on the phone. I don't lie.
100%. And I respect. And that's what I'm saying. So if she knows that's the thing she values the most, then you got to say that's what she feels like she's bringing to the table. It's number one for her.
Facts.
I ain't saying no.
I want to hear your point on it.
We waiting for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Your point on it.
I mean, if you, I don't know. Like he said, it has to be in you. That's in him to want to be those things for, a husband role. I feel like I do play that role a lot if I like you. But if it's not reciprocated, I can easily shut it down and go into girlfriend mode. And so it depends. It depends on who it is and how we are towards each other.
But I love that. I think and what I think I heard you say is like, hey, when you see a guy that is somebody that you want to take serious and you want to potentially take further, you're going to tap into certain things and do things for him to see that in you.
Right.
Right. And so that makes a lot of sense. And there's some guys I'm sure you've dealt with, you didn't see a future with him, so you didn't tap into it.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I think he answered his question when he was talking to her. He said
When he was talking about himself, right?
All that stuff is who he is. And I think he should have been diagnosing who she is in that moment. Like, marrying somebody doesn't change who they are. It doesn't. I've married someone. It doesn't necessarily like transform them into somebody that they're not or you want them to be. It doesn't work like that. Relationships, commitment, titles don't do that either. None of that stuff, like putting that stuff on people doesn't necessarily change them. So you got to diagnose people where they're at.
So what does it take for a woman to transition from the idea of like, hey, we're just dating and showing up as a candidate to saying, hey, I'm willing to actually put in effort to show him wife qualities? Like, what does it take for a man to get you into that space?
Great question.
For me, it's about how he dates me in the beginning. And I see certain qualities in him, and it's like I want to show him. It's just a genuine like energy. You just want to show him the same thing you feel like he's showing you. It's not like a specific thing I can pinpoint, but it's just you just feel it. You just know.
So is it certain time markers, or is it like you said, it's just an amount of like one guy can make you want to show that week 3, and one guy it may take you 6 months?
If it takes 6 months,
day, like the first
if it
time
takes
you
6 months, I'm not
interact with him,
showing it.
You know if you want to give him a lot of your energy. Now, if you find out week 2 of that and he's not giving it back, then you're gonna fall back and say, "All right, this is not the one. He not giving it back to me." So,
can you give a guy that energy and still date multiple men?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can give that energy to multiple men.
You could give that wife energy to multiple.
Sounds exhausting.
I love it.
We're gonna put this in the data analysis.
No, we're gonna go back to it.
I'm just saying.
I think Chris did hit it though. Like bro was talking about him, and I think for men we kind of have to be that for women to be attracted to us. So I gotta already be on some provider, protector, have my shit together. Damn it, I am the worst at the cursing rule. I have a potty mouth. I'm gonna fix it. But we kind of have to be that already. So then she comes in and she's like, oh, I might want to act different with him.
They got to be that already too.
I mean, that's
I think we. But I'm saying I think we put up with a lot, and we try to like make excuses and think we can change women and do all that stuff. The same things they do sometimes with us, we do the same thing because we love them or they look a certain way and all that stuff. And then we look up and 5 years later ain't nothing changed. We can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't keep trying to think we can like work off potential and change people and settle and all that stuff. We got to start holding women to a standard too. If the shit ain't rocking, then we out.
Yeah,
I think that's how we got to play it.
But Chris, go ahead.
No, I just see with a lot of men that's married, like they complain a lot of times about the woman, and it's like, bro, you knew what she was when you married her. Like, at some point, you got to take accountability too. Fact. And like us as women, like certain women, if we don't have those qualities when we're dating, then who's to say that we're gonna show you that when we're married?
I agree.
You might marry that woman and then she might be like, well, I've been this way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And marriage kind of solidifies that because you're also saying, people don't understand when you marry a woman, you're saying this is this is what I want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're saying when you make those vows.
Yeah.
Agreed. So where does that fall into this idea? Because I think where I look at this question is you have a lot of women who've been through unsuccessful relationships, and then there's this idea of like trying to get the man to commit to you. So they have this concept in their head to like not overcommit until a man actually shows them something. So I think what I like most of the time when I've heard women say stuff like this is this idea of like, hey, if I give him all this access to me before he's willing to either put me in a relationship or marry me, more than likely it's more of a relationship, less marriage. They think that it's going to less incentivize you to be in a relationship. So if I'm cooking and cleaning, I'm having sex with you, I'm doing all this stuff for you, and we're dating or we're just boyfriend, girlfriend, they believe that the guy's just going to keep them right there. So what would you say to a woman who feels that way? Like, hey, if I give him more of myself, I'm less likely to get that confirmation through marriage.
That's a risk. I hear what you're saying. So you're saying basically when women do all that stuff, it kind of validates what the man is bringing to the table too, because it's saying this is enough for me to get this out of this woman. So you saying basically you gotta almost have something else to provide on the other side of marriage. I don't necessarily agree to that. I don't think women or men should do that, kind of like wholesome stuff. Like if a man finds a wife, right? He doesn't find a woman. So if he finds a wife and it's on him to make that wife his. You know what I'm saying? Like make her mine, like she said, lock it down. Now, if he doesn't want to lock it down, then he's already telling you, I'm cool. Even though you bringing all that to the table, I don't hold it to that high standard that you may think. So I think that's a sign to bounce. Especially if that man is talking, especially if he believes in marriage. Some men don't even believe in marriage too.
Like I've had women tell me like, oh, if we don't live together, that means I can't do your laundry or I can't wash dishes or something like that. Like they'll put out certain markers in the space to say, hey, they can't show up a certain way until they hit those certain like road marks. You know what I'm saying? So they'll have this idea like, oh, if we live together, I probably would, do your laundry. Or if we probably live together, I probably would, help you with this and that. So it's almost like they feel like until a man hits certain commitment markers, they hold back or they feel restricted.
I think that comes too though with, I've seen guys say, I'm not paying a woman's bills unless she live with me, or I'm not doing this unless we're here. So I think it go both ways.
That's
as
true.
far as that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so do you subscribe to? Let's say you are someone that would do laundry, or cook for me and stuff like that. Let's say we're in that dating phase, or maybe we enter into a relationship, but we don't live together. Are you saying that when you go over your man's house, you're already showing up in those qualities to make me want to move in with you? Or you're saying, hey, I'm hedging a little bit until we get into that space?
Me, I'm just a type of person where if I'm dating somebody and I go to his house, if I feel like doing it, I'm gonna do it. If I don't, I don't. If we live together, that's something different. But I really don't put that into like I don't stay here, so I'm not doing this, or we're not doing that, so I'm not doing this. I think when you date, you need to find out if marriage is even an option. Some people date people and feel like they could change people's minds about marriage or whatever the case may be. Some people don't want to be married. And then you get stuck in that, I'm doing all these wifely things and he don't want to marry me. You never even had a conversation about if he wanted to be married. So I think you just have to really get to know who you're dating before you set certain boundaries or limitations or whatever you want to call them.
I like that.
I think that's key, yo. I think we walk ourselves into resentment and heartbreak because we try to change people, like she was saying. I think once you see people, I think everybody should show up as who they are. Don't hold back. Be who you are. And if it don't work, if it ain't meeting your standards, then bounce. I think we be so scared of being alone, and then we be so scared of getting our hearts broken and stuff like that we try to make it work so it doesn't necessarily fail. But you're already failing and then trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to force it.
Right.
So, I think you should just be who you are unapologetically, do the things that you think they should be done. If you're in that person's house, you already think they're of a certain standard anyway. So, yeah, do it. If you see his clothes on the little shit on the dryer or whatever, fold them. See how he acts. You know what I'm saying? It might push it forward. But if you see he's not really appreciating those things, that's a sign.
So Chris said, all the women out there, if you're at my house and you see clothes on the dryer, fold them shits. Fold them.
See how
But you have to be careful with that though, because like some people are OCD about certain stuff.
No,
like you can't just.
And he not gonna fold it.
I'm talking for me.
he said if Chris said at my house,
Chris gave me validation for me to say fold those
that's a PSA, yo. He was letting him know to fold his clothes.
She said it's true. That's trial and error.
Right.
Maybe he comes at you like, yo, I don't really like that.
Right.
And then that's if he decides to kick you out or not keep moving after that, then hey, that won't the guy for you. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And my values are aligned. I will tell you how I want them folded.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Yes.
100%.
You throw all that shit out. That's not how I fold my shirt.
I'll tell you where to put it.
Yes. Use
So
the
you want a
black.
maid?
Use the black.
You just
Why gotta be a maid?
I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a
Chris said
question.
that if you want to, you're at my crib. That means we already have an experience where you trust me me enough to be in my house, and you see clothes on the dryer, fold them shits. So I was confirming.
But you saying I'm gonna show you where to put it.
My desires.
I'm about to say, if you real specific about your stuff, you gonna want it a certain way. I want my stuff a certain way.
You need to do it yourself.
Now we can limit boundaries.
No, it's not limits and boundaries. Like
You want it a certain way, you have to do it.
You gotta do it yourself. If
I gotta take whatever fold I get.
Yes.
They both fine. Outside of that.
No, you got
outside of that. Okay, no matter how she folded it.
Okay.
She took the effort to fold my clothes without me asking her.
That's
I don't care how she folded them shit.
Right.
I didn't know.
He seems like the type like he gonna do his lunch, like wash his clothes right before you come and have a pile of lunch.
I would.
It's a test.
She
They do that, and we got multiple people coming in to compete to see who folded best. Right?
Yes. May the best folder win. May the best folder win.
No, I think the initiative is priceless.
Exactly.
That initiative is priceless. Like if a girl is venting to you about maybe her bills, and you just cash app her without her asking.
I would do that though.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You deserve your clothes folded.
Right. I think it's that initiative.
Well, see now, look, now it changed.
way
You see how
you
quick
are.
that changed? So how do you want
No,
to
don't cash app me. Send it to straight to my Navy Fed.
But here's the thing though. The same way you saying, oh, she got to fold it a certain way, this, that, and third. If you send, let's say she said, I got to pay $1,000 for this or whatever the case may be, and you send her $500. If she come at you like, I need the whole $1,000.
Yeah, that's different energy. And what I'm saying is, my response is really around the whole OCD thing. I'm saying that, hey, if you have a desire to want to fold my clothes, not only would I appreciate it, I would also give you feedback on how it could really bless me. I'm just saying.
And I'm giving you feedback on how you can bless me by paying this whole bill.
I got you. You sent her the $500 because she just folded the clothes. She ain't put them away.
Right, absolutely.
No.
But no, all jokes aside though, like, and it really does go back to what you said, and I love it. I'm an energy person, so like if I'm in a space and the energy feels very like, oh, this person's tapping into me, this is a person that's like, you know, showing up in other areas, they're talking to me, they're like doing things for me like without even me asking them, I'm more likely to help financially. I'm more likely to say, yo, she's like, man, my tire is going flat. I'm the person to cash out you the tire. But I've also been with women who said, my tire's going flat. I'm like, damn. What you gonna do?
That's wild.
Exactly. Same energy. It really just depends on how that person's showing up with me.
It's a dance show, and I think we just be too, like, each party be too scared to step first because we too scared of being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think if you like are centered and you're good in yourself, that little folding the clothes or paying the bill, if your
100%.
finances is right, that little $1,000 ain't gonna kill you.
Right. Yeah.
If you at peace as a female, it ain't gonna kill you to fold a man clothes. If you don't appreciate it, okay, so what? I can walk off.
Right.
I think everybody just be scared to put themselves out there and that's a vulnerable thing.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So people be so scared of that. But just if you scared of being vulnerable, if you're scared of putting yourself out there, you do not need to be dating.
Absolutely.
Period.
It's the inner state. 100%.
Not bad, guys. We good? Everybody good? Mm-hmm. Y'all want to go to the next one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are women in competition with men? Let's hear it. We'll react.
I'm gonna be very motherfucking clear with this. Niggas love a bitch that's struggling. Let me tell you why a bum ass nigga love bitches that's struggling. Because the bitch that's struggling gonna make that nigga feel superior. A bitch like me, a bitch that can hold her own, a bitch that pay her own, a bitch that ain't gotta suck dick to survive.
She didn't see the rules for the podcast.
Of course I'm gonna make that nigga feel uncomfortable. Of course I'm gonna make that nigga feel like he in competition with me because I got more hustle in me, because I got more motherfucking motion in that nigga. Come on now. Let's be fucking for real. If we gonna be anything, let's be fucking for real. I'm gonna be very
That was aggressive.
You sound like she
I just feel like I
just went through that.
Like she on the other team. I don't even think she's dating dudes.
What I tell y'all want us to like men. Like I'm cool. That shit don't get my dick hard talking like that. I'm sorry. Period. That's why you ain't pulling no niggas. Niggas don't like that shit. I'm cool. I'm good. Once you start jaw jacking and doing all that shit and talking like that,
Not jaw jacking.
once you start doing all that shit, that shit don't entice me, bro. Yeah, once you start doing all that shit don't entice me like that.
Chris, like, do something else with the jaw.
Right.
That's where I was going with it, jaw jacking. I'm like,
Man, for real, bro.
Chris is silent.
All that bass in your voice and shit, that shit don't entice me, man. I feel like I'm damn. I should be chilling with my boys. What the fuck? I'm good.
Yeah, no,
I'm good.
I mean, so have you guys ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were competing with the guy you're dating?
Where I was competing with him? No.
I felt like he was competing with me.
Right.
Uh-oh.
That's how I felt.
Like in what ways though?
Yeah, but to explain that.
So
That's tough.
I don't want to get into like how much we make or nothing like that, but it's just a certain intimidation that guys have.
Around how much money you make?
About how much you make, what you drive, like how you sustain your lifestyle.
Sorry to cut you off. My ex was in competition with me because he didn't know how much money I made. He just know that he was lacking and I was able to maintain. Mm-hmm. So that made him like become jealous and like just really weird with me. And I had to let that relationship go because he was really in competition with me.
That's like,
but when I was struggling, just being spiteful and nasty like around the house. Like buy something or not buy something to see if I was going to get it. Like for instance, I needed a kitchen table. I was trying to see if he was going to get it. He didn't want to get it because he knew I could get it, you know? Mm-hmm. And it was like out of spite because I wouldn't sit down and say, listen, this is what I make. This is what I got going on. You know, I didn't make him feel good. But when I was struggling with him, he was almighty, like, you know?
That's weird. And so there's this whole dynamic about like dating where if you ever feel like you're in a space with somebody who you believe is somewhat superior in a certain area, you're going to have two options. It's going to either take one person may take the road that says, hey, if my woman's making more money than me, it's going to inspire me to get on my job and try to get to that level. Yeah. Or what the road that most people travel, and it's unfortunate, is most people take the tear down approach. So then they try to like bring you down towards them, and they're going to try to come at you at different ways. And so it's unfortunate that as a man, you didn't even see that as an opportunity to level up. You seen it as an opportunity to poke holes at you, bring you down. And that's what a lot of relationships do. They don't like the idea of feeling uncomfortable, so they got to tear you down in some way. So they know they can't take the money from you, so they're gonna start trying to poke out other insecurities at you to try to bring you back down to earth, and that's sad.
That is super sad.
And then men just think finance is the only thing they bring to the table, bro. That shit is crazy.
But and my thing is this though, Chris, like I could never be in a space with a woman who makes more money than me and feel intimidated. I would be happy. Like to me, there's like a certain dollar amount where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. So if I'm making X amount of dollars, let's call it $100,000, and you're making $250,000, we're both, from a financial perspective, probably financially independent, and we could also put ourselves in a financial dependency where we're actually building together. But that doesn't make me feel insecure because you're making a quarter and I'm making 100. Who cares? That has nothing to do with me. You know that I could take care of myself. Financially, I know you could take care of yourself financially. That's not what this relationship should be about. And even if the guy is in a certain situation where he's not making any money and the woman's making more money, then maybe you shouldn't be dating in the first place. Maybe you don't even have the time or the energy to be dating. You should say, hey, I need to remove myself because I feel insecure about who I am. I'm gonna let you go and I'm gonna go focus on myself. But to tear somebody down or feel insecure because you're with a woman who makes more money than you, that's some beta energy. Like that's so whack to me.
I think the insecurity's already there, bro. I don't even think when you walk into that space, it just creates insecurity. I think that man's already insecure about his financial state or his position in life.
He could be, but if you listen to the clip, though, this is the thing, though. I do think men sometimes date women that they feel somewhat need them to help boost their insecurity. So it was this idea, you heard her say, like, when they both were, like, you know, on a certain level, he felt good, he felt needed. And then when he started seeing her make different moves, it drove insecurity. So yeah, the seed of insecurity is already in you. As a man, you probably already have some, what I would call bitch assness inside of you. Now with her making more money, it incited that bitch assness.
Right, it flared it up. That shit was already 100%. There. He was just getting his confidence build off of when she was financially probably below him.
Absolutely, 100%.
And then it ain't even about how much money you making. Like, I can't stand that. People who you can make $250,000 a year and be $300,000 in student loan debt, credit card debt, all kind of shit. Yeah. It's not about how much money you bringing in. It's not.
100%. But I think I've heard that a lot though, because I think there's this desire for men. They feel, especially when I think the more insecure you are, the more they feel like they got to be needed. And they feel like this idea that if a woman doesn't need them in a certain area, that they have less value.
But if they there for a reason.
Absolutely.
Like I'm sure a lot of women, the women on this couch probably haven't just been with a man because of his money.
But I do have a question though. But do I,
that the only reason?
Wait. But my question is, are women showing up? Are they having that conversation with the person, letting them know that I do need you, and there's other things that you do bring to the table?
Yo,
no, you gotta let them answer this question first.
Yeah,
he said that, and they both chuckled. Got a nice chuckle.
Hey, man. Zoom in on the Kiki.
What's the question again? What's the question?
I get
Chris said
you know the
he don't
question.
feel like women. He said, what did you say, Chris? You feel like women
sure
are
that hasn't been like the only reason you with a man.
Because he got bread. And they,
but you know what though? I think that before they even answer, I can see a woman maybe staying in a space for that temporarily, but there's no longevity in it.
Emphasis on temporarily.
I think that baby.
Y'all gotta talk, yo.
You know, honestly, I just feel like
no PC shit.
No
PC shit.
No PC shit. Tell us about Tyrone now.
Honestly, financial stability will make you stay in a situation. It becomes a job then. You're working. But financial stability will make you stay in a situation. You got to think, if you're dealing with a person and you see that's not the one for me, but you know that's financial stability, you got to think about, like, a lot of our, I don't know y'all parents or maybe grandparents, some of them, they were in relationships only for financial stability. Some women only married for that. So, yes, I have been in a relationship because of financial stability.
Okay. I like how you said it's a job. It is a job. It's like, gotta.
And I'm not trying to say it's not an element. Of course, it's an element. It's a huge element, especially in the economy, the society we live in. It's a huge element. I'm not gonna say act like money ain't important, but I'm just saying the only, like, that's the only, when you write down your pros and cons, the only pro you got up there is money.
Yeah, but I have a question though. So do we feel like, let's say you're in this space only for financial, do you feel like that because you treat it like a job, you're able to make him feel like that's not the only reason why you're there?
Mm-hmm. That's part of the job.
Oh, the finesse.
Right. That was in the description.
But they really know what's going on.
Right. I mean, that's what I would
They're
think.
aware. They're not. They're not.
I mean, I think I would, because I think, like we talked about earlier, like, it's an energy thing. Certain things about energy you just cannot fake. I don't care who you are. Yeah. You cannot fake it. And there's certain ways, if you have experience dealing with different women, you know how certain women fuck with you and certain don't. We all have been in spaces where we know the level of who fucks with who changes by a different person. So I don't know. I couldn't see a woman just fucking with me for money. I think my personality would be too rigid. Like, you have to really fuck with me. And even if you were just there for money, I think it would show at some point. I think like your cards would be pulled at some point.
But a lot of men.
It depends on too how you are as a man though. It's some men who lead with their money.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely, yeah,
100%.
That's what you
and I feel like even guys that lead with their money though, those guys are insecure in some way. And if to me it says a lot about them, because men who really do have money and also have a lot of options don't need to lead with that.
Yeah,
right.
How they show up is going to be how they show up.
But what I'm saying is, if you lead with your money, you don't really know why the person is there.
I agree with you.
If you leading with your money, so.
But I got a question: the men that lead with their money, though, do you think those are guys that are literally looking for something long term, or is it that those are the guys that probably are just good for a short time but not a long time?
Depends on how long they can keep money.
I've dated guys who have led with their money and it turned into like relationship for years.
Wow.
But I think I would say they more so lead with their money for a sense of control instead of looking at it like I'm going to be with this person or whatever the case may be. They look at it like I'm going to lead with my money so that I can have dominance over the situation.
Wow. So they feel like the money is what's going to turn you into, leads to submission.
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Does. Because ain't no broke nigga telling me what to do.
I respect it. I do.
I try, but I'm not You tripping. Yeah, you got to have some type of...
What if the dick is good?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'll come over for dick when I want to. I'm not listening to
I'm in control.
Yes, I'm not going for the bullshit.
I respect all
make
that.
the rules.
You make the rules.
Fair enough.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to get off on that one? Y'all didn't really talk about her for real. Her energy was off.
We didn't talk
No,
about,
but-
we
because
didn't
they
talk
didn't
about
even-
women in competition with men. We didn't really.
Well,
Because it ended up, y'all was talking about more so the male insecurities that come with competing with the woman, but really that clip is more so sometimes women have that's just the energy they come out with.
But I think that it goes back to what we were talking about, though. It's the same idea of submission. Even women who have that energy for the right guy, they're going to naturally still submit because they're going to get into a space where they're with the guy that they don't even feel they need to compete with. That guy's going to be this far away. You're going to ultimately have to make a decision. Either I'm going to sit there and say, hey, this is my man and I feel safe with him. I don't feel the need to compete. Or that guy that you even are with will not even deal with you. Most men who are really on their shit that actually are worth a fuck are not going to compete with a woman.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
I would say women compare subconsciously in the beginning.
With a man?
Yeah.
Compare
Compare
what?
what?
They can compare financial stance, position in life before they see
everything.
if a man is of a certain. To even assess if a man is of this space on a spectrum, you have to use yourself as a reference.
Compare or assess. I think those are two different words.
Different.
Okay.
That's semantics.
I think
No,
yeah,
no,
I'm about to say,
it matters.
I think instinctually you're gonna fall back on yourself as a reference automatically. You're not necessarily gonna.
And-
That might be
But that doesn't mean you're
baseline.
But no,
competing with
even
them, though.
then, most women want somebody that's taller than them, make more money than them. That's still a
Right.
comparison.
But it's not
But
competing.
that's a baseline. I think
That's
an
not
assessment.
competing, but it's something that I'm looking at. Like I don't want to talk to no nigga that got less than
I
me.
mean, necessarily that in the scope of this conversation, that is a competition, and we aren't doing like some money Olympics and some shit like stacking our money. But you are saying I make 75, he makes 100, so okay, he's cool.
Yeah.
But who's doing this? Like, I mean, when I meet a guy, I'm not competing financially with you. Like, yeah, I'm gonna assess you. I'm gonna ask questions to figure out what you got going on. Yeah, if you have if you're in a certain caliber, a certain lane, because at this point, then I need to know if we're in the same lane. I'm not competing with you.
I agree with
Honestly, I don't want to win that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you supposed to, you already won.
Right.
You don't have to know, like, long as you know that I'm able to level up or help you build, we can build together. Like, that's all that matters. I'm not about to, because I'm not in the position of bringing somebody up with me right now.
Right. No, and that's been my experience too. That's why I kind of agree. I agree with y'all. Like, it's been more of an assessment. I think when I'm dating women, they're assessing. And I think we talked about this the other day when we had talked about gold diggers. I don't think gold diggers are like traditional gold diggers like we saw in the 90s. I think they're making assessments differently. I think they're looking at Instagram differently. I think they're looking at what you drive differently. They're looking at your house. They're gathering a bunch of data on you to determine if this is somebody I want to level up with or be with. But do I think they're just coming in saying, oh, I'm competing, I make 100, this guy's got to make 105? No, I think they're making their assessment based on the value they think the guy can bring in the space.
I think that's natural. I think we're in a funny place where business and nature are kind of like, I think they're one and the same. I think a woman should be looking for a man who's dominating in a whole bunch of different sectors, because when you get married, what are you taking? That man's name. You know what I'm saying? He's built his name up to a degree. So if you're going to take his name, that means you're going to move in that likeness. So I think that's natural. But I think when you just put it on a dollar amount, I think that's when it gets problematic.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. Like, and I want the women to chime in here, because I don't think it's just the dollar amount. I think what I always say is what a man makes should be a part of your assessment, because it will tell you a lot about other things about the man. A man's money is their resume, so there's going to be other things. Most men who are making a certain amount of money are probably not going to be dumb men. I'm sure there's some exceptions. They're probably not going to be not motivated. They're more than likely going to be self-motivated. These are going to be guys who are literally probably can reproduce that opportunity to make money even if something was to fall away. Like most men, if you've been making six figures for 5 to 10 years, you're probably not going to go from that to zero overnight. You're going to probably have things to you that's going to say this guy has value no matter what space he holds. And then literally his network should be almost aligned to the money he makes. So he should be around other men in a similar purpose and a certain mission.
Right, that's a fact.
These are facts.
But with her, I just want to go back to the video. I don't think she was saying that, like, we're talking like she's trying to compete with him. I feel like she bossed up, so now he's trying to compete with her. Honestly, like, I don't want a man that's gonna see me doing better and then try to say, okay, well, we in competition. No, we're not in competition. Like, you should already be there. You didn't help me, or you already on this level. So I think he was more so like upset and trying to control her now. So now she just need to go find somebody else.
Absolutely.
It's just the energy for me. You could have all that stuff going on for yourself as a woman, but once you start talking like that, it's just a super turn off, red flag.
I agree.
I'm not rolling. Other than that, get your shit off. Go ahead, get your money up. But you don't gotta lead with that. Like, you put your dick on the table, I'm cool.
Yeah, but that energy would change. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, for the right dude.
For the right dude.
Sure.
And even if it doesn't, she'll only be with beta male providers that are lower value than her. She'll never get to a point where she's able to really level up with that energy.
Yeah.
She's not, because y'all not gonna do.
No.
The man that's for you will take pride in that stuff, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially if we married and you like say Caitlyn start going crazy in real estate.
I want her to.
You know what I'm saying?
I want a sugar mama too. Shit.
You gonna take pride in that?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, of course.
That's a red flag if he starts. I think if y'all both are like business savvy, so I think it's healthy to have like a healthy competition. I think that's healthy. Like, if you're like in real estate, you in stocks, y'all saying, oh, what's your chart looking like this month or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's healthy. But I think once it's getting to like some bitterness and all that stuff, that's a red flag.
Too much business in the relationship, it can be too much.
I can see that.
You know.
I can see it. It all depends on what your foundation is like too, though.
Yeah. But too much business, that business competition, that means to me too much business.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just have fun.
I ain't competing. What Willie said, I ain't competing with no woman about no money, bro. I'm not talking with you about. I'm not doing none of that.
But and there's some guys you could get with who can literally take wherever you're at and they can literally level you up. They can literally they can literally make your world bigger. I think those are the guys that are like special. Those are the guys that can take whatever world you have, and when you're in their world, your world now becomes bigger. The access you have is bigger. The network you have is bigger. They could take whatever money you make and they can literally double, triple you. They can actually put you back in the world better than they found you. That's a whole nother level of energy.
Yeah, I would love that.
Caitlyn said she want to retire me like Tab did her husband. I'm with it. Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
that's that
I'm
talk.
with it. Yeah.
I like a good house husband.
Don't call me no.
Now make sure you fold the clothes right and put them up.
You already cooking too.
I'll fold.
Get enough money. I'ma have you at home.
Right.
You see how quick they was
Look, for the right cost, I would do it. We just gotta talk numbers. We gotta talk numbers.
Y'all both be house husbands?
I'm always gonna want to do something. I ain't gonna be in it.
We can always want to do something, but I like I said, depending on how far we're in the space, I don't have an ego when it comes to that. At the end of the day, like, we're gonna work whatever was best for each other. And like I said, I know I'm to the point where I'm good regardless. So it's I'm not dependent on you. Yeah. But if we were in a situation where she's making $2 million a year and I'm making 6 figures a year, and she's like, hey, in order for us to rock, you need to stay at home with Lil Johnny while I go out here and do this a month.
Yeah,
but I'm be a transaction coordinator. What you need? Because I want a full salary. I want direct deposit. I want to make sure.
She like, hey man, I need you to come shoot this video. This walkthrough.
And when she leave me, I want to make sure what's my 401k looking like.
Y'all bodied that. And we're back from a quick bathroom break. What did we say we was gonna do? Why are women single? We'll find out.
You had to tell me right now why you truly believe that you are single. I believe I'm single because
I just don't feel like leaving the house. I'm comfortable at home. So now that's why I feel like I'm single. I don't put in the energy to go out and meet people. That's where I fail now.
In addition to your isolation, I think that the other thing that adds to it
could be a
is
saying that.
Your time spent dedicating to men who do not have the same relationship goals as you.
Let's talk about it. Emotionally unavailable men.
We can use those experiences to learn from and to, take us to the next place in our life.
Yeah.
But when you are spending too much time somewhere with someone, you are potentially missing out on other opportunities that could be coming into your life. There is a window of blessings that you miss out on when you are distracted with things that do not serve you, people who do not love you the way that you deserve.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason.
1000%.
Okay.
You hit the nail on the head.
And
She said that in a way
the
that's
third reason
palatable for
is,
women to
as
accept.
ambitious as you are, the most go-getters of the get is going. The going is good. You will not actively and consistently even approach or pursue or profess interest in what you desire. You had to tell me right now why.
There's a lot of words.
A lot of words. She was talking. She said the nicest way to say when you was in your 20s and you was messing with all the go-getters and they didn't pay you no attention because you wasn't there for nothing else but a good time, some bottles, and the section that you. She said it mad eloquent. Because that's how she didn't say it like that. She said it. But that's basically what she was saying.
I didn't get that at all.
Oh, see?
I was confused.
Yeah.
So what did you
I'm
get?
a linguist. Huh?
You said you didn't get that at all. So
I
what
got
did you
that,
get
not that you were distracted by the bottles and the this and the that. I got that you spent time in relationships that you knew weren't working and you missed out on potential men that it could have worked with.
That was in there too.
Yeah, that's kind of we kind of touched on that too at the beginning about like playing the game with people that ain't really worth it and missing out on.
Yeah, but I got a question. Like, so when we say worth it, how are we defining that? So are we saying that any relationship that ends in marriage is worth it, and the ones that don't are not worth it? Like, how we?
I hear what you're saying. I think everybody that's somewhere, nobody's being held hostage.
Right.
Like, if you're there because something.
But that's what I'm
something's
asking.
good.
So, like, I got an example. So, like, if you're in a relationship with someone for 2 years, we're dating back and forth. It has the typical roller coaster, and then you get off, and you're now 29 when the relationship started, 31 at the end. Is that a relationship that wasn't worth it because it didn't end in the ultimate goal, which is marriage? Like, was that a waste of your time?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking the group.
Was it a waste of your time? I feel like if it became, like you said, it was a roller coaster and you were back and forth. So if it became a point where it was stagnant for a period of time or whatever the case may be, then yeah, it was a waste of time.
Don't we think most relationships though, usually like isn't there like phases of a relationship? Like by the time you get ready to end it, there's probably other things that's happening before the end that pretty much projects out that this relationship is getting ready to be gone. Like unless it's like something like a peril, right? So let's say y'all are like this happy-go-lucky relationship, and then one day he does something like cheats on you, like then okay, yeah, you probably didn't see that coming, and then you leave. But most relationships, even the cheating, there's so many other things that probably happened before that where the relationship is like out of alignment that the relationship is coming to an end, or it could be potentially coming to an end. So what I'm saying is like, how do we define a successful relationship that doesn't end in marriage versus a relationship that was a waste of time? Because she's saying that you spent time with a guy that you could have left and you could have found the one. Found the one like what? Meaning you feel like there was like another guy out there that you could have been with that would have married you, or another guy that would have given you a better 2-year run?
Maybe a better relationship. I feel like you could have a relationship that wasn't a waste of time if it was healthy and it ended on, hey, this just not working, or I'm just in a different space, or whatever the case may be. But if it was something that was toxic or whatever you want to call it, and you knew, because you know when the relationship isn't working, and if you sit there for 6 months thinking maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll get back on track, I think that's what she was referring to as far as the waste of time.
And I'm asking the women, so you guys can all chime in. How many guys do you think at this time in your lifetime that you've been with that are actually like husband material? They were like guys that you said like that was someone I could have married and spent the rest of my life with. That you feel like from a value perspective was like on your shit.
I think that as women, we know like some guys are here for. We say this all the time. Some guys are here for a good time and not a long time. We know that as women, and then some of the relationships, like we could be in a long-term relationship and not look at it as if it was a waste of time. No, it may have been a lesson. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a waste of time. Mm-hmm. You may be the best of friends with this person, or y'all still may be cool. But that person might have taught you how to deal with the next person, how to be better for that person. You just never know. I don't think it's a waste of time. But to the question, why are a lot of women single? I think nowadays it's by choice. A lot of us want to be single. Like, we done been through a lot of the bullshit. Can I say bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, we've been through a lot of bullshit, and we done put ourselves in this space, a safe space, where we have a lot of peace, and we don't want the responsibilities of a relationship. I don't want to be in my feelings because you doing this or you doing that. I'm okay because I done put myself in this space, so I'm good now. I know what to expect. I deal with who I want to, how I want to.
Yeah, I was about to say that when he made a point about if you aren't ready to be vulnerable, you shouldn't be trying to enter in a relationship. And I think a lot of women are single because they have been vulnerable in the past and they don't want to go back to that space.
But I have a question. So how old are you?
Oh,
You,
don't ask the woman her age. Right. How old are you that you don't know that?
I'm gonna make a guess.
They are age, bro.
Okay. So, but what I'm saying is because when do we make the transition?
I have an 18-year-old son.
All right, there you go. So, but at what point do we make the transition, or does women make the transition from wanting to be single to saying now I want a life partner? Because I would assume at some point you want to get married.
But it's your personal decision, though.
Do you want to get married?
I've been married before. I would be fine with just being in a long-term committed relationship. I mean, if he wanted marriage, it's cool. If he doesn't, I wouldn't care.
Do you want to get married?
Not now.
Okay, so I'm saying that's ever.
Maybe it may change, but right now, no.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. So what changes for a woman that goes from I want to be single, I'm happy being single, to now I'm ready to go back and date and ready to put myself out there? Because you had referenced what Chris said. There's this idea that we have to get to a point where we accept that getting hurt or getting in our feelings or being in these spots where we gave our all and it didn't work out, we have to be okay with that being a possibility anytime we're in the dating space. So what I'm asking is, like, when do we transition from saying, okay, I'm no longer okay being single and I am ready to get back in a relationship? Like, what has to change for you in order to do that?
For me?
For any of you.
Or woman, period. Because I feel like that's a personal decision. If you are in a space where you feel like you happy being single and you decide you want to date or be in a relationship, that's a personal decision. I don't think it's one thing that happens to make somebody say, well, now I want to be in a relationship.
But do you think that as we get older, like as people progress more into like that idea of like, you know, forever, or this idea of like getting closer to that end date of their life, doesn't that sometimes force someone to say, hey, I don't want to die alone. I don't want to be single. Like,
no, my grandmother died at 94. My great grandmother died at 94. Her husband died when she was younger, and she never remarried. And I used to always ask her, like, you don't want? And she used to be like, men are headaches, no. So like I said, I think that's a personal decision. Some people have no problem being alone. Like we always said, when we get old, we're going to get a house together and be the Golden Girls. Like, some people are just fine with that.
Yeah, and I think I just think people put too much into these expectations when it comes to relationships and having this fairy tale life. Like, you thinking, okay, look at them. Most of the people that say, I want to get married, I want to do this, they still single because they thinking about this marriage and they not focusing on themselves. Like, a lot of times, just go with the flow and it's going to happen.
I think, personally, what you want for your life is, that's your prerogative. And if that's what you want, if y'all want to move into the house, be the Golden Girls, that's y'all's prerogative as grown women. But I also think that black people in general, black men and women, are in some like weird, scary place where we don't necessarily see the value in each other. Yeah. And I say that because when we get together, we don't necessarily, I just don't think we take it seriously enough. You know what I'm saying? I think we kind of just see each other and niggas just dudes just want to fuck, and girls just, you know what I'm saying, they looking at how much money you make, what can they get in that year span with you. And I think we just on a real surface level place, and it's kind of sad because it's like, I wish we would see like the value in, like, you know what I'm saying, I want a man, I want a woman because XYZ. I wish we could be in that space, but I think the society we live in and all the stuff that's been cast down upon us is kind of like drawing a wedge. So it's like I can't even argue what they saying. You know what I'm saying? I can't even advertise men to them and be like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I kind of see what they saying. When we get older, I want to just be the Golden Girls. I can't even argue with that because I can't even really fully advertise men. Even though I know some good dudes, I can't speak for the whole climate.
No, you're right, Chris. Because like even when you're saying it, like, and we're probably one of the few cultures out there that our families are under attack, that we have more women who are saying those things. Because in most cultures, they would never say they don't want to get married. The idea of creating the family structure, creating households with kids, creating legacies, all that stuff is innate. It's like inside of them. So this idea, like somebody actually saying they don't desire that companionship or they don't desire to be in those spaces, I do think it's sometimes unique to us. And I do think that even for me and Chris, I mean you're a legend out here. I think even the most egregious guys out here eventually want to get married. Like I've asked men all the time. I don't care who you are. I'm saying the most. I'm not saying you are, Chris. I'm just saying you ring bells. You got your Chris with the green eyes. I'm sure you had your run. But at the end of the day, we still value. I mean,
you're like, they're not green.
No, I know.
It's my fault.
But even the men, like we've all met them. Like we've all met the people who thought they were going to be single forever. Eventually, there's this idea of we do want companionship. We do want to slow it down. We do want to build that family. And I think especially even as men ascend, this is what's crazy. As men actually get more money, as they actually get higher in their life, they actually do desire to get married. They do want to share that with someone. Yeah. There's nothing more dope than finding a woman and actually being able to share your life with them, share them experiences, being able to give them that first trip out of the country, to be able to show them things that they never had access to. That is like one of the dopest feelings for a dude who really has their shit together. So for me, it's like at the end of the day, like the idea for me, even now, is like, yo, I would love to still establish the Black family. I still would love to eventually find that person that, like you said, has value and that can make my life better. And it is sad that we don't hear more of that. This idea of this commitment to the Black family, we actually hear the opposite. Yeah. You don't hear that in other cultures. You don't. Jewish people don't talk like that. Asian people don't talk like that. White people don't talk like that.
Because they start in the home. I think it's not necessarily something that we can fix on the surface level. It got to be something that we start with our kids, and then they continue on with their kids, and maybe we can start to turn something around to be more productive and build better communities. But I don't know. I think it just starts with us. I think we doing it. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of Black couples and Black families out there.
I do too. And I was going to say too, I think the desire of marriage for me has diminished because I see so many marriages where I know the husband's doing this and the wife is doing that. And
we seen the PJs, but we never. I seen the meme and said, "Oh, y'all got on these matching PJs, but he was just out cheating. He was just over there." Just
in my DMs with your matching pajamas on your
in the DMs with
in
the
your like
you guys be the worst.
Yeah, like so it's like.
But see, I think me and Chris on the same, because I was more on your wave. I was like, I'm actually cool with more acting married than actually the on paper part. But it's still like, it solidifies her in a way to have my last name, all these different things. And then I started like, the more closer we got and the better it got for me, I was like, nah, I'd go down there and do that shit in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, this is my partner. We really building something. And to Chris's point, I want to keep showing like, yo, this is a real Black family. I won't end nobody DMs in my pajamas. We was matching pajamas and eating brunch and doing fly family shit.
Yeah. But I think that's the value that some people don't think about all the time. Like, marriage isn't just for you two people to be happy together. You want to create an ecosystem. You want to create a family. I want Thanksgiving at the house with us, our kids. I want the other parts of our Black family to come, and you can't do that if we're not creating tiny little ecosystems.
Yeah, but think about it like this though. Like, so usually there's two things that are wrong when you talk about men that are cheating. Number one, those are going to be probably, especially in a marriage, like a guy that probably has low integrity. A guy that probably has low integrity is probably a guy who is not used to having options. Because I do believe men are as faithful as their options. So these are guys that are probably not as someone who used to get a lot of women. So they're literally like have that scarcity mindset. Like, who can I still get? Who can I still fuck? They probably weren't ready to get married in the first place. And then second, it's really the guy not even taking marriage serious enough to be able to say, hey, what would it take for me to be with a woman that I wouldn't cheat? And I didn't have that mindset at first. That's how I think now. I used to think of them from a standpoint, I'm in love with this person, this, that, and the third. But my question is, what would it take for a woman to come into my life that I would be willing to commit to them, that would make sure that I would not cheat on this person? What are my values? What are the things I want this woman to behold? If men thought like that and they were more prudent about the people they marry, you would have less infidelity because the woman would have already been vetted. This is like what Chris said. You would have already said, I choose you because you've already shown me enough to say I want to spend the rest of my life with you. A lot of these things, we don't do that. We're getting married young for no reason, like we said. I've been married before. You said you got married before. None of you guys look 60. So that means we probably got married when we were at a young age. The marriage wasn't built on any real foundation. Probably you look good, I look good. We like to fuck, we like to have fun. So we got married. And we didn't really build it and say, hey, is this somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with? There was probably no values built on the relationship. And most of the things, when things are built with no values, they crumble. Yeah. There's no foundation.
I would say on top of what you're saying, it does have to be, you have to choose the woman that you can see that big picture with. But it also has to be, there's a tricky thing with the men that are attractive to these women, to our women. They're men that are of a certain physical stature. They gone out and got something in the world, but we're teaching them how to go out and get something in the world, but we're not teaching them any kind of code of ethics, no kind of honor, no kind of integrity. We typically learn that stuff through trial and error.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's the missing piece to trickle down through the whole entire body of people. Our boys have to be taught more than to just go out and get a bag, because they going out and getting a bag, and then they reaping the benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like with that bag comes freedom, comes access. So they're not necessarily taught discipline and keeping your word to yourself. Forget keeping your word to your woman. Mm-hmm. If I tell my woman I'm gonna be faithful to you, that's me. It's not. I'm just not telling her. It's something that's coming out of my mouth to myself. So can I? You know what I'm saying? Can I look at myself in the mirror at the end of that night where I just done cheated on her? You know what I'm saying? I think we need to get to a point where we start holding ourselves accountable for the things that we do and keeping our word with ourselves.
But a lot of it has to do with even like the age by which we're like they're doing these kind of things. Like even for me, like I completely, like, maybe because through experience, I think I have a whole nother view on this, but it's the idea of like, we still have kids at a way too young age. We still get married way too young. Most of men, we should not even be fathering kids until our 30s or mid 30s. We're not even at a mental level to be having kids.
Well, really,
go
ahead.
But this is what I think the age for when people want to start their families or whatever the case maybe doesn't matter. I think it starts from, like you said, raising the kids. Like when you raise your daughter, you teach your daughter, like, don't have multiple boyfriends, don't do this, don't do that. But then when it's a son, if your son has one girlfriend young, I have heard fathers, oh, you pussy whipped, or oh, she got you gone, or oh, like you train them to think that they're supposed to have more than one female, and that's what they grow up thinking.
But can I challenge something? You use the word families. How many, and we can pull statistics on this, how many black families do you think we really have, mom and dad in the household?
Not a lot.
So we're not actually even creating black families. We're just out here coming in women and just having kids.
But what I'm saying is, you're right, but what I'm saying is because it's starting from when you raise your child, you're teaching your daughters one way and you're teaching your sons one way.
100%, but we're not even teaching our men that before you make a decision to have a kid, before you have a decision to marry a woman, are you in a spot to have integrity and to be able to provide for that family? What I'm saying is we're not. And I'll speak when I was 19 years old, we're just coming out there just with this scarcity mindset. Let me see who I can fuck. And then we make lifetime decisions with a very weak mind. 19, 20-year-old men who don't even have their own shit together should not be imparting wisdom in a 5-year-old boy. You don't even have your shit together. You're not even in a position to really teach that person to have integrity because you don't have integrity. You haven't even experienced enough to even have integrity. You haven't even done anything in your life at 19, 20 years old to even say that you're someone that should be a provider and a protector, somebody you should be able to say, I trust you to lead this family. I'm 20 years old. I make $10 an hour and I work at Finish Line. What the fuck am I doing trying to lead a family? I don't even know how to lead myself.
I think what y'all are saying is on the same side.
It is. But that's what I'm saying. But most men, it takes us longer to do that. So what I'm saying is that men should not be quick to marry the first girl that comes their way. They shouldn't be trying to have unprotected sex and having kids at an early age because you're not in a position to impart the wisdom that she's saying.
Let me ask you a question. My father was in my life. Your father was in your life. Willie, was your father in your life? Mm-hmm. Did they ever come to y'all and level with y'all and have that talk? The talks that we having now?
No.
I think that's the disparity.
And to her point, I was about to say, my dad, he didn't have to tell me about having multiple women. I seen him doing it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now I think when Chris said this on the pod a couple weeks ago, I'm not just thinking about not cheating on Caitlyn. It's like, yo, I got a family, I got a daughter, I got other people that's watching me. They watching me.
But Kadeem, you don't realize like who really did raise us though. Like people don't realize our culture told us that our validation came from having multiple women.
Yeah, get into the bag and getting all the girls you can.
So that was a part of our validation. Right. We thought that gave us status.
Right. And that's why I laugh at y'all when y'all say that legend shit. Because
you are a legend though, Chris.
You are a legend.
But real shit, I look at that shit like, that shit was a waste of time. I wasted a whole bunch of time.
I know.
No, I'm dead serious.
No,
bro. No, for real.
100%.
I believe you, Chris.
I'm a level on this podcast. I'm behind the ball in certain spaces that if I had focused in them spaces while I was out here just doing whatever, I would have been in different places.
We say that all the time, bro.
The Alchemist, right? If you were on your purpose,
right?
We're reading that for 2023. You should read that book every year.
Yeah, if you ain't fucking with Fatima, you'd have been good money.
He left Fatima to go find his personal. We're gonna have to do a breakdown. Yeah. Y'all got to read The Alchemist. It's a great book. Yeah. Great book. Anyway, I know you said you had to go. You good? Okay, cool.
Get it.
What y'all want to do? We only got 2 more left. All right, we back from another break. I got 2 more clips, and we're gonna end this joint. Are men their own problem? Patriarchy, the reason men can't show emotions. Let's see.
Harder in this world. That's true. A lot of men have it. Actually, all of us, we have it so much harder.
Men have it harder in context.
No,
what?
like if you listen to Jordan Peterson, Kevin Samuels, we actually have it harder. We have to become what we want. We have to struggle so much. We're not talking about gender-based violence or anything, but to become what you are. Being a man it's mad lonely. Yes, it is mad lonely being a man. Your emotions sometimes are not validated. Yeah. We are told sometimes you cannot cry, but now we're told you can cry. But then you do cry, then they make you have to be a pussy for crying.
Okay.
And you're like, what the fuck
Can
is
I ask
going on?
a question?
Yeah.
Do you know what the funniest thing about what you're saying is? Men created patriarchy, and now they're crying that patriarchy
I'm not crying. I'm not talking about the sense of the patriarchy.
No,
but just being an actual man.
all of that comes down to patriarchy.
How?
You not being able to cry is because you guys within yourselves
Told us
decided that
we
you
can't
need to
cry.
be strong.
Yes.
You guys not being able to do certain things without having a lot of money and not being seen as that nigga if you don't have money. It's because you guys placed value on a man is his cows. A man is his value. A man is this. So how do you create a system? And now that we're holding you accountable of the system that you created, all of a sudden the world is harder for you. The world that you guys run, it's literally a man's world. So if it's so hard, then change it because it's your world.
I ain't gonna lie, she low-key cooked it.
She did.
React. Chris, no, y'all can't see me.
What?
Pop up even. Say something, Nick.
Nah, I want y'all to.
Your ladies first.
guess,
Come
man.
on, Riz, man, talk, man. You ain't been talking.
I'm waiting to hear what y'all gonna say.
Okay, I think with me is what she said. I lean more towards what she said. I think it's more like with Adam and Eve shit. I think men have created a society that caters to women, and now that women to take advantage of the society or the perks of that society, we starting to cry about it. And for the whole crying thing, this whole men can't cry, I think it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, you can cry, bro. Ain't nobody stopping you from crying.
Fact.
It's about the people that you're around. If you have a circle that takes advantage of your vulnerability, that's your fault.
But we did
Sorry,
grow up
bro.
being told not to cry.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
Agreed.
Definitely.
And that's
grew up,
programming
don't
that we
whine.
have to take ownership of, though.
No, for sure.
I think the women have started telling the men that it's okay to cry. Like,
But
we have.
It depends on which guy is crying in front of you. Because if he's a soft ass, beta ass, whatever, he crying, you like, bitch, get your shit together. Yeah, you're gonna be like, come on, man, tighten up. But if you see him as a strong man and he being a little vulnerable with you, you're like, oh, he loves me because he cried in front of me. Yeah.
It depends on what you're crying about.
True.
Yeah.
It depends if they together or not, nigga.
That's what I'm about to say.
I talked to a girl who didn't tell me about another nigga crying, and she talked to him like
she was
about
playing
it.
him.
But probably when they were together, nigga, she was hugging him, telling him it's okay to cry.
Exactly.
When is it okay to cry?
Caitlin love when I cry. It'd be so random.
Why does she love it, though?
Because I don't do it a lot, I guess.
Okay.
Or if
'Cause I'm
I
about to
do
say,
it,
people
it's
say
in,
they love
it's in the
this, they love
shower
that.
or
Why do
something.
they love
I'm
it?
by myself. I don't, when I get emotional, I want to be by myself. I don't want nobody to see it. But like I was telling y'all off camera, I don't really do holidays and Christmas and all that. But we didn't really get seeing a whole bunch of gifts because she gets stuff all the time nonstop. And she's 2, she don't care. But then her godmother got her something. It wasn't about the gift. The gift was cool. But when she's unwrapping it, she's smiling and making them little faces. I'm like, oh. I was about to tear up in front of everybody.
The most time that I hear a woman talk about another man crying in a negative light or when they're trying to kick him down is like when a man makes a mistake and they begging for her back. So I've heard every girl I've talked to like, oh, he was coming to my house crying because I caught him, blah, blah, blah,
Fellas,
blah, blah.
don't do it. You're going to be in her story and she's not going to take you back anyway.
She gonna be
Don't do it.
talking with
exactly.
me, nigga, so just know.
Don't do
We
it.
know.
Do not do it. If you already cheated and you got caught, just take the L.
nigga.
Take the L. Being a sap is not going to get her
Block
back.
her ass. Stop talking to her. It's over with. You took the L.
It's over.
I'll be crying in line though, so I mean, the
No.
tears don't mean shit.
They don't mean shit. Exactly.
Right.
So
They be
have
crying
some
in line.
integrity, nigga.
Because all she's going to do, like Willie said, is tell the next dude how you was outside her spot crying.
With crocodile tears.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, nigga.
Yes. Dogging you while he's
don't do the
dog
crime.
stop. Come on, man.
Don't do the crime.
Yo.
Don't do it.
Don't do the crime. No, but there's one thing she said about this whole idea that men somewhat has created this idea that status or things validate men. I disagree with that. I disagree
as well.
I think women are the tastemakers. The women are the ones that actually validate the things that men tend to tap into. Women have been attracted to status since the beginning of time. Women have been attracted since the beginning of time. So when in a pool of 100 men and there's 100 women don't go 1-to-1. There's going to be a man within that 100 that women are going to be attracted and goes to, and that usually was the monarchs. It was the warriors. It was the people that went out there and that were the takers, the go-getters. Those were the ones that women actually were attracted to. Women have shown us throughout the time that they validate the man that can go out there and get it, that protects them, that can go out there and kill the bear. It's not us. If women told us at the end of the day status didn't mean anything, men wouldn't chase it. Half the time, men chase the things that women have told us throughout the time validates the things that they're into. It's almost amazing how much power women have over what men truly value.
I want Chris to say that's bullshit, because when I say that shit on here, he don't never say. He always stop me, don't he? That's bullshit.
You ain't even get a dude a time to stop.
Facts.
No, because I was gonna play devil's advocate.
Please do, because he always do.
I said the same thing to Kadeem. Chasing women and just wanting to be desirable are two different things. I think just because they so-called, like, a woman doesn't validate me, bro. Like, period. And I think we need to get to, like, you're off your path if you're trying to be validated by a woman. I think you need to get on your path.
I don't think that's what Willie's saying, though.
No, walk your path. And the woman that comes along while you're walking that path is the woman for you, not the one that you have to go off the path to validate, to show, hey, I got this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying?
Willie's saying that there's a path that we know if I go this path, it won't be 1. It'll be 10. It'll be 20. They'll be chasing me because I'm chasing the other things in my life.
But that's why they end up outside the crib crying. Because the goal wasn't their purpose or their destiny. Their goal was that woman, and they placed all their value in that woman that they had to go off the rails to get.
I'll roll with that as a young man. I could see that.
Yeah, but
as a grown 35-year-old dude, that'll never happen.
But what we're saying is that for a man, when we talk about this idea of attracting a mate and attracting the type of mate, we understand that the options, the women that we're going to attract, is going to differentiate between where we're at different phases of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We know ultimately, we just talked about it. They talked about it extensively, that a man's money, what he has a part of their attractiveness to a man.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that innately. We didn't create that. A woman has told us through their choice throughout the beginning of time, these are the things that I'm into. I'm into a man that can go out there and provide. We know that there were families from the beginning of time that literally died in starvation because their man could not fucking hunt. So we knew that if a woman knew that, hey, in order for me to live, I have to be with the guy that can go out and kill a bear, bring it back and feed our family. Guess what she's gonna be fucking into? The guy that can go out there and kill a bear. So to sit there and say
they can
that
skin it, they can put clothes on our back, Chris.
That doesn't matter to me. That doesn't matter to me. The woman doesn't value. We know that ultimately for reproduction, for survival, for us to be able to have companionship, there are certain things innately that we have to do in order to attract a certain type of women. And we know that the women are going to attract to us differently based on where we're at. We didn't create that rule. We understand that still today, status is a huge driver of attraction. No matter what we do, it just looks different. So we know that there are certain things that we have to do in order to get certain women to be attracted to us or to have an abundance mindset. And it's okay. there's some people who are average Joes or some people who don't want to do shit with their life who's okay with saying, I'm only going to attract women in this status of my life. I'm going to work at Burger King and I'm going to take whatever that comes with that. And those guys are going to have access to this small amount of group of women. And we know that as we continue to elevate and we continue to go after certain things, guess what happens? Our pool becomes better. So I might even get a potentially a better mate, Chris, because of what I'm able to be able to attract than if I sit there and say, I'm just going to worry about me and I'm going to do whatever I want and whatever is going to come is going to come. That's a beta ass mental. I'm going to go out there and go get exactly what I desire. I'm going to go out there and make sure that I'm going to go after everything that I want so I can have as much option and attract as much women as possible so I can get the best mate that I possibly can get in this lifetime based on the choices I have made available. There are certain women, Chris, that are not going to talk to you just strictly based on what you have and the status that you
Of course.
That you bring.
And does that make that woman of substance?
Yes.
Does that automatically make that woman of substance?
No, it doesn't make her
she only
substance.
talks to you because of what you have?
I have no... See, and I've said this before. I'm a huge believer in hypergamy. I have no problem with women validating men based on the things that they're able to get. Because they have certain desires that they have, and they have certain things that need...
What she just said... She'll fold them clothes if he paying on the bill.
Right, 100%.
Oh yeah, no broke nigga not tell me what to do quickly.
I'm so results oriented. I actually think women should be hypergamy,
and we respect it.
And I think women should hold men to a certain bar.
They should.
I'm not saying that she's better because she doesn't have a bar or not. I think that's dope. I wish more women set the standard and say, hey, I'm only going to deal with men that can do X, Y, Z.
But there are extremes.
But that's not what the clip said though.
Y'all
are talking about something totally different.
No, no. She said in the clip, if you guys remember, she said that men are crying about the world that they live in. Because a man was saying that the world is hard because they got to go out there and get it out the mud and all this stuff.
We do.
And what I'm
y'all created that.
Y'all created that.
I'm disagreeing with that notion. I'm saying that women created it because this is what I'm getting at. Women validated these things. Women have told us through the beginning.
Just because we validated doesn't mean we created it. Y'all created it.
Y'all set up the governments. Y'all conquered the countries. Y'all.
Women have shown us what they value.
All I'm saying.
Women's role used to be seen and not heard. We couldn't validate a damn thing.
They did because you know why? Because guess what? In every land, since the beginning of time, there was always the prettiest woman in the town.
And and her father had to give her to whoever she was going to marry. So he made the decision.
But he still got the top candidate.
But he made the decision. The father made the decision of who did he
want to give her to?
Who he thought who was best, who met his standards. Who met his standards?
The guy with the highest status.
Okay, but the status came from the man.
He couldn't always.
The man, even the man knew that my daughter needs to have hypergamy.
We have seen plenty of movies where the daughter could have been in love with the poorest, weakest man in the village, and her father's like, no, you're going to go and marry this man because I know he's better for you. So it's based off of the standards of men.
So y'all are preconditioned to like men with money?
What
I'm
that
gonna tell you. Let me be honest. Let me answer that. Yes, my father raised me. And my father told me from before I started dating, don't date nobody broke. Yes,
that's the same thing that the dude in the movie was saying.
But they're based off. But that's not me validating that. That's me learning my father's standards. Who's a man?
But that's still
so. What Chris is saying is, if we start telling our daughters, hey, it doesn't matter.
We all got daughters.
You're right. You don't have to worry about a man's money. Then that will change that rhetoric over time.
Yeah, if you are raising your kids, whatever standards and beliefs you put in your child, over time, if that's instilled generation, yeah, it's going to change. That's what it is.
But don't we want our daughters to be protected and be taken care of?
Do you?
Okay, no. Let me. I want to interject right there.
There you go.
Can I ask y'all a question? Just because a man, women want status and money and all that stuff because of security, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Are we saying just because this man can go get money, he's gonna protect your daughter? Is that what we're saying?
I think that we have been told that there are certain characteristics or data points that we believe give a higher propensity for a man to take care of you.
Agreed.
Yes.
Percentages cut. But I will say that man that really loves your daughter is going to jump in front of that bullet before that man that just loves $1.
We don't know.
Because the man is going out and getting $1. He loves money. That's agreed. He can provide security to a degree. But when shit hit the fan, I always say this, that's how you know the true measure. Because a man can be a millionaire and run out the back door when some shit pop off.
I agree. So why isn't the prettiest girls going with the guys with the best character?
Because we are giving these extreme, diluted, delusional expectations to these kids. We are giving all this one-sided crap And I'm saying this as a man that makes good money. I make good money. But I know that's not it. That's not it. That's not the one thing that covers a woman or a family. That's not it.
So why when we ask the women, and we've done this over and over, when we talk about the things that they look for in a partner, number one, why aren't we just saying number one is character? And why are we even talking about
we
what a man
should be
makes?
doing that? And what I'm saying is, I think, me personally, I think it's the scarcity mindset that led our body of men to overtly go after status in a society that ain't shit to get women that have been proven to not, that mixture is not proven to work in marriages because marriages aren't working. So men, as we go up and get status, to get these women and the relationship still ain't working. Why aren't they working? So if that's the case, if we're just chasing the bag and getting in the bag and we're getting these women and the pool's becoming bigger and we can pick the greatest option, why ain't nothing working?
So my question, first of all, I there's a lot of data in that when men, especially black men, when they get to certain statuses, they're not choosing black women overwhelmingly. Those individuals are choosing partners outside of the black race. So I'm not going to say it's not working. I think that we have less black families where we have successful black men with successful black women. I think that's a bigger issue. I think when men get to certain statuses, they're going outside of black women. I think if black men that especially get into certain wealth categories date black women and build successful black families, I think it would be working, Chris. I think we have an issue with men getting to certain levels and actually going back and dating black women and creating black families. That's the issue.
I think we have to redefine what success is. I really do.
But my question is, Kristen, why is it that we are not saying that, hey, women go out here and just find the best character guy that you can be with, but go find the guy that will take the bullet for you. So even if fuck the guy, like you said, that can offer the security, why aren't women just coming up here saying I'm only dating for character?
It's a list of components. I'm not just gonna say go date the Boy Scout. I'm gonna say it should be a list of things. Character should be number one up there. That should be your qualifier. Because looks are a default. Like you're not even going to approach or be approached by a man that you don't really physically are attracted to. So then after that, it should be character. And then it should be, can this man provide this lifestyle? Because we're not. Let me just say this. Because you just having a conversation with a man doesn't get you pregnant. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm. So you have time to diagnose character. And then you can diagnose salary and providing and all that stuff. And then that's by the time you do that, you laying with them and you're making a family.
So is character number one for you?
What I wanted to say first was I don't think anybody should tell anybody what should be number 1, 2, or 3 on their list.
I agree.
Like if I want character to be 10, that's me.
I agree.
So is character number 1? No.
I agree. No. I 100% agree. And I actually think that...
You're not going to let them answer?
No, but go ahead. Yeah. Character number 1?
They've been being goofy low-key.
Is character on yours? Number 1?
This last time around, it was number 1.
They laughing. They's like,
how'd that work out for you?
No, it didn't work. You see them laughing?
I mean, it's still going, but I'm over it.
Damn.
No, but you know what, though? But this is the thing, though. I actually think that you can draw conclusions from what a guy, his output, even in his character. I'm not saying that there's not weak character men that make money, but I think 8 out of 10, their guy has to have something to him to be able to go reproduce money out there. I think Chris is overselling what money, the proxy it is. I think there's other innate qualities that when you find guys that probably make money the legit way and do certain things, there's certain things that come with that. There is.
Yo, Willie, I'm not saying character is the man just spending his day walking old ladies across the street. There's things about a man's character. There's things
taking a bullet.
But there's things about a man's character that can attract money.
Right. But what I'm saying is, Chris, we'll never know about the whole bullet conversation. I'm sure they're not going up to the guy in Burger King and saying, well, you take a bullet for me, and then the millionaire saying, you won't take a bullet for me, I'm going to go choose the guy with the Burger King. No, they're going to still go with the millionaire and just hope the bullet doesn't come.
That's fine.
Right.
Like I said,
has a less propensity to come.
Right, exactly. Matter of fact, hanging out with the Burger King nigga is going to get you the bullet.
Yes.
I might, hey, okay.
They might got tempered glass in the mansion.
How many millionaire rappers have we seen getting shot and killed?
And
we got to stop talking about them. And most of them
even the rappers, though, again, how many of them got their girlfriend and them got killed?
Bro, I'm telling you, but you saying that the Burger King dude attracts the bullet more than a millionaire.
What environment he's at Burger King?
Where is the Burger King? What city is the Burger King in? Is it on Victory?
Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Everybody trying to...
Is it in Newport News?
Ain't no
Not that
Jesus.
He walks to work.
Yeah, bro, he walks to. A bullet gonna whistle past you over there.
All I'm saying is, but I think it's dope. I guess I agree with women's having certain standards and let some of them be economic. There's nothing wrong with that. I think
socioeconomic,
right? And I think it would uplift Black families if more women put certain constraints around how a man his resume. When you meet that man, his income, the money he generates is his resume of accomplishments to that point. Hold these niggas accountable. Don't do what Chris said and ask about his character. Hold this nigga accountable for his resume.
Yo,
I'm more aligned with Willie on this. I'm sorry.
That's
I don't think what y'all are saying is too far apart.
All I'm saying is,
Willie's saying there is some characteristics that come along with getting to the bag.
Right.
There's certain disciplines, there's certain things about me that I gotta have to get to it, because the lazy dude at Burger King, he don't got it.
And that's part of your character.
And what women are saying is, and what I think they're saying, and I hope they say it, is that bad character can be with the millionaire and the nigga at Burger King. So they're gonna play the odds. They're gonna play with the millionaire.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's right.
All I'm saying is
exactly. No, I was thinking it the whole time. Like, where you want to cry, Chris? You want to cry your own cry because he don't got one?
Man, he had such great character when he brought me those Whoppers.
Y'all are playing the extremes game.
But a lot of guys, like, have you ever
Y'all are playing the extremes
But
game.
no, have you ever
like only
we
go ahead.
say like you can't even afford to cheat.
Yeah.
So it's like
Y'all are
Faithful
playing
as his
the
options.
extremes
Faithful
game.
as his option.
Faithful as his options. All right. I got one more clip, then I'm going to let y'all get out of here. I know you got stuff to do. He weak.
I'm fucking with Chris.
Ask yourself, do I really want to deal with what I want? And what I mean by that is, specifically in relationships, people are saying, I want this type of person. But you're not thinking about what comes with this type of person, what you're going to have to deal with. For example, let's just say a woman who wants a really successful man. But do you want to deal with the fact that he's busy? Do you want to deal with the fact that he's not going to be sometimes as emotionally available as you would like him to be? The price you have to pay being with him and the standard he's going to put on your life, do you want to deal with that? It's almost like if I want to buy a Bentley, everybody wants a nice car. But do you want to deal with the maintenance? Do you want to deal with the attention you're going to get driving in this car? Do you want to deal with that monthly payment? Maybe you will find your happiness in the nice Corolla. To ask yourself, do I...
Why he had to shit on the Corollas?
Oh my.
I mean, everything he said is factual to me, but what do y'all think?
It's factual. I do not want to deal with what I want. Because I do want a busy man, but it's going to be time where I want to be with you and I'm not going to understand you're busy. So I don't want to deal with what I want, but I will. I love dogs.
Yeah, why she not to what?
I love dogs, but I don't like dealing with them. Like, I got 2 dogs and I don't even want them no more.
That come with that.
Do I want to deal with what I want? I'm gonna be honest. Like, I haven't even sat down to figure out what I want.
I love that.
Okay, that's a great answer.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer.
do I want to deal with what I want? Nah, I don't. Nah, I don't. I'm gonna just say that.
Damn.
It's not easy. That shit hard.
Chris? Do you want to deal with what you want?
I'm married. I'm dealing with it right now.
I about to say I'm doing the same. You're dating.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, like I said, I think there's trade-offs to every relationship, and I think we talk about it all the time. I don't think you're gonna find 10 for 10, 9 for 9, whatever the case may be. I think you're gonna have a value. You're gonna have a list of values, and like we just talked about, because if I'm in alignment with them, we have a priority board. And so, hey, I may get, as long as I get my 1, 2, and 3, I may miss out on 5 or 6, and I may have to deal with it or not. But I'm willing to accept whatever comes with getting my 1, 2, and 3. That's why, like I said, for me, I do understand that I may not be able to get a woman who's making $500,000 a year, because I do want a woman to be in her feminine. I do want her to be able to help me in the home. I do want her to be able to help me certain things. So I'm willing to accept that that woman may look different than a woman who's always gone or who's always busy, who feels like, hey, doing laundry is beneath them. I'm willing to accept that. There are certain things that I know that would bring me peace and happiness, and I have written out, hey, these are the things that are non-negotiable for me. How somebody speaks to me, how somebody treats me. I want to be that person that can tap in and actually make somebody's world bigger. I do want to take people out on their first trip. Maybe I don't want to be with the woman who's been over 500 countries. I don't. I enjoy taking someone to somewhere they've never been before.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, I'm 100% like more, because I've been in failed relationships. I do now even more than ever am very, very direct about what I want and what I desire and the outcomes. And I know what type of women that's going to probably look like. I do.
Oh, I need a button from Family Feud. Like, good answer, good answer.
No, but I love their answers. I want to go back to them because I think that's the more of the conversation that I wish we talked about, and where probably me and Chris even defer is that I think for women, women think that they want certain type of men, but they're not looking at the other side of the coin. And I love the fact that they said that there's certain things they don't want to deal with that could come with certain type of men, and that's why I don't think money is the only thing. I think there might be saying, hey, at this point in my life, I value time, quality time. I value good conversation. Yeah. I value stability. I value a guy that I can build with. So that guy may look different on paper. And I think if we go out there and we date with those intentions and we still hold to that standard, I think you'll less likely waste time. You'll still find guys that you actually value, and you will be able to find what guys have all those other attributes. But I think what happens is, I do agree with Chris there. We over sensationalize, like, hey, I got to be with a guy that makes $500,000 a year. Okay, like, what does that look like?
What does that really?
What does that really look like? And even if you do, are you in a space in your life that you can attract that guy that makes $500,000 a year? And what experience? I'm with you guys. Like she said from the very beginning, the $500,000 a year guy. If you're saying, hey, I don't want commitment. I want a job. I love that answer, because now you come in saying, hey, monogamy is not number one for me. Number one is you pay me a $2,000 a week allowance and I'm good money. So she's not going to trip when somebody blows his phone up, because she's going to look over and say, hey, babe, Friday's coming up.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait.
Friday was payday, right?
Friday's payday.
Okay, yeah.
Don't make it sound like it's prostitution.
No, you said a job.
I'm playing.
It's like a sugar baby.
Whenever you call it a job.
But I'm saying what I said. Like, it ain't like, oh, nah, she can call your phone and you say, oh, Friday. Nah,
no, I said you say it.
No, I'm not saying, oh, Friday.
You going to ask him for his phone blowing up?
No, I'm not going to say nothing. It's just we got to understand that my phone may be blowing up too.
Right.
But I don't even have to say, hey, Friday is coming up. Oh, no.
Hold on. I got a question, though. So you with the $500,000 dude, your phone got to blow up too?
No, I'm just saying it may.
No, but
you gonna let it blow up in front of him though?
It just
she said they're not married yet.
You can
I know that. I'm just
that
asking.
makes $500,000 and can still be a lame.
No, we already know that. Yeah, he's lame already if he got to give allowance.
No, but my example was the mindset you have to have if there's certain things that you value, that you're willing to not value something else. And so what I'm saying is, there's some women you can be with them, and if your phone blow up, no matter how much money you make, they care so much about monogamy, their reaction is going to be, why is somebody calling your phone? Yeah. Whereas somebody else's value, like you said, we can't tell other people their value. Their value really may just be financial security. So instead of them going at you about your phone blowing up, they may just say, hey, in their mind, hey, Friday's coming up. And
that Apple Pay ain't ring through yet.
Right. Like, the key is peace. Like, why am I about to put myself through this stress, crying, doing all of that, or upset, or anything, when I know, okay, I'm good. Like, you gonna continue to mess with them.
Right.
Women not gonna continue to be with them.
Let me say this: even if it is a job, you don't want no one that's calling, because you don't want him running out of money.
Right.
Even if he might have to cut your allowance, so you might be getting like.
Oh, so you still go out his phone ringing?
Yeah, you're gonna because you don't want nobody having access to what you have with, not knowingly. Now he can do what he want to do in private, but I don't want to know about it, because I'm gonna be like, well, why I'm getting less money? Well, who else you bought this for?
Business talk.
You know?
No. Business talk. Now they can be like, how much is she getting?
Right.
Look, what's my deal? What's her deal?
I know.
What's her deal?
Why you cutting my money? It's because of her. Who is this? How well do you like her?
Clear out the road.
But I seen a clip about this that it reminds me of them saying it. There's a difference between being insecure and jealous and being territorial. They're saying, yo, we're being territorial.
And I don't have to know about it. Like, I don't have to tell you. You don't have to tell me. Like, don't put it in my face.
You're right.
Like, I don't want to know about it.
Right. I respect it.
So
no matter what, the phone can't ring. No matter how much you
right.
You better put that shit on Do Not Disturb.
Put it on silent.
I mean,
exactly.
if you broke, your phone can ring because she ain't getting nothing.
She said, keep that shit on D&D. I got you.
But you know what? To like go back to the original question about women being ready for what it is they think they want, I think you have your feelings in one hand and you have your expectations in another. If you want him to be all about your feelings, then the expectations you have might not be met. But if you want him to meet and exceed your expectations, you're going to have to manage your own feelings sometimes.
Okay, Lydia.
That was
I'm about
good.
to say, hold up.
No, that was good.
Normally she be talking about
Put her behind the camera. Lydia off the couch.
That was good.
That was a bar over there. Okay.
There we go,
I
Lydia.
agree, because a lot, like, I know each one of us, like, we can control our emotions. Like we know how to turn it on and off, and not be in a situation where you upset for so long. Like you got a day, all right, get over that shit. Like, that's just how we are.
Damn.
That's how everybody should be.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to be like, okay, I'm gonna have this feeling, and then I'm gonna let that shit go. Because
But I got a question though.
right.
Like, if the relationship starts to progress, like a serious relationship, and this is somebody you really do fall in love with, is it harder to control those emotions? Then are you more vulnerable?
Of course.
Yeah, sometimes
It's
but
harder, but I still do it.
I feel like managing your feelings
I love
is
it.
like flexing a muscle. Like you have to work that shit out. You gotta exercise managing your emotions because women can just let your emotions run wild if you want to.
I call and vent to them all the time, and then I can turn it off. I turn it on with them, like I'm going through this, and this nigga did this, and da 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 da, and then turn it off.
That's what guys do. I call him, talk about it, and then act like it never happened. But to answer the question, because me and Chris ain't really answer it, I think what happens is, especially with social media, a lot of these guys don't realize what they want either, right? You see these girls, they look a certain way online, IG model, whatever. She used to getting flown out, bro. You don't even know what that part looked like when you trying to embark in that game. And then you want to play the game, but you don't know what really comes with that on your end too. So for guys, it is a little bit similar because it's a lot of shit that happens where they biting off more than they can chew. She already used to a certain kind of life. That stuff she doing online, she not faking, bro. You got to play that game she trying to play. And if you're not ready, what the old head say, you get squashed or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, for real.
No, I agree with
No,
that.
but this is the idea. Like the idea of the dating game from a value perspective is you're supposed to try to find as an attractive woman that you possibly can get, but that you can also retain.
Yeah.
And a lot of men sometimes get with beautiful women and they get so insecure because they know they can't keep them because they can't keep up the lifestyle that the other guys can. So you still got to play within your value system.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your goddamn lane. It get expensive out here. Well, ladies, I appreciate y'all coming. I was going to talk to y'all about the Meg and Tory trial, but I really deep down don't care.
Yep.
It was good TV for a little bit. It was good on social media. But
we need one more Tory
We
project.
still don't know what happened.
Right.
yeah, we'll never know. But he got found guilty on everything. Y'all gonna make me pot about it
that's
anyway.
No, it doesn't matter.
I thought it was bullshit too.
All right, we'll talk about it real quick.
Me too. Me too.
So I'm a huge Tory fan, so I was rooting for him as well. The music still slaps to me. He's a better artist than Meg. Y'all can come for me on the internet if y'all want. It's the truth. But his lawyer was trash. They could have got that whole thing thrown out. I don't know what he paid that dude, but he was got to be the worst lawyer of all time.
What I just didn't understand was why they had to grant the best friend immunity if you didn't do anything. That was the greatest flag right there. Like I don't understand.
His charges though, like the letter of the law, he did all three of those things. So you firing a gun. If I go outside and I fire my gun in the air, that is, what's it called, Chris?
Reckless discharge.
Reckless discharge. He got charged with that. They said he had a gun in the car. I don't know if that was his gun. They don't know whose bag it came out of.
Right.
But he got charged for that too because he was there and his, And then assault with a weapon is actually, if I just come in here and point the gun at any of y'all, that's considered assault. So just the fact that he had the gun, his witness, how you call your witness and he say you shot the gun? That's the worst lawyer of all time. Tori, you could have gave me the money, bro. I'd have got you off, fam.
I still feel bad for him though. Just
No, I do too.
Like women, like certain women will put men in situations. And I feel like he was put in that situation because they were friends, they were drunk, fighting. And the cause of it was the women. Like, a lot of times we will put guys in situations. That's why you got to know what type of women to deal with. He shouldn't have been around them drunk, acting crazy.
I agree.
I agree with that 100%.
I agree.
Bars.
I mean, and to your point, I mean, the stuff that just happened with Javante, I'm still going to the fight. But
she looked like she said.
Yeah, she was kind of.
Yeah, but that's.
Did y'all see what she said though? Her statement.
She said she lied.
Yeah, she said that that he didn't do anything to her. And
there's no real repercussions for that. And as soon as it happened, people was going at him. And I'm like, damn, we got box seats for the fight.
But I think they was going at him though because of what he did to his baby mama. Did y'all see that?
We did see that. Yeah.
So he did that in front of everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, at the basketball game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Javante had the up.
Most boxers are.
Yeah.
And he got hands, so no, for real. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, but she was in the way.
Yeah.
Well, free Tory.
Yeah,
free Tory.
I agree with that.
Till it's backwards.
They gonna cancel us for that, but free Tory. I'm sick of seeing women like he's da da da. You don't even know who. Like y'all said, we don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened. It sounded like that girl got that
But
gun
I
and was
felt
shooting in the
like-
car.
Yeah, I
Oh,
felt
you
like he
ain't
was
heard, bro?
sincere.
What?
It's believe black women at all times, bro, no matter what.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that.
I say
'Cause
women,
know
period, not just black
Chris
women.
knows
Don't
I'm
try
trying to
stand
wrap
for
up, and he
that.
keeps
Right.
But I do agree with you, Chris, because they jump out the window and say some reckless stuff, and we
That's
supposed
reckless as
to
hell.
ride with it until no man, prove it to me, and we still don't have no
I
proof.
just said that the other day to somebody.
What?
You got to prove it to me.
Thank you.
You have to,
Because you have a brain.
yeah.
A lot of these people don't have brains or hell. They
I
just
watch a
saying
lot
shit.
of videos and stuff trying to figure out what content to do over the pod, and I seen all these videos of women lying to men about whose kid it is, cheating, all kind of stuff, and we supposed to just believe them off the strength because we want to protect black women, but who's protecting this black man? Like we don't got no protection for Tory. We don't even know if he did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not playing that phone conversation, but
Black men gotta protect
The
their
phone
kids.
conversation didn't say anything, right? He just.
but
apologized.
anytime a man tells somebody sorry, it's almost like a blanket saying, I'm sorry for everything. So I'm sorry if you think I shot you. I'm sorry that I smashed you and your friend, even though that's on y'all. They got nothing to do with me.
That's what I think he was saying.
Yeah,
sorry.
probably.
That's what
Probably that I put y'all in that scenario. But if
Yeah.
I say it on the phone, then it's he's sorry because he shot her.
right.
No, I'm sorry because I was really trying to leave a what's her name looking like a goddess in the pool. Kylie looking like a goddess, and I got you two clowns with me. And they kicked us out. We're trying to get a Jenner.
Scary times,
I just
bro.
think it has something to do with the black male rapper nowadays.
Yeah.
It's something going on in the industry where they're just railroaded at this point. And I think he just fell into that system where he was railroaded. He is a great artist, so we don't know what behind the scenes reasons
Yeah.
it ended this way. But I mean, she does have a very powerful.
She got backing.
behind
Yeah, she
her,
got backing.
Got a machine behind her and
That's
Tory.
unfortunately. You got
Tory's
to
independent.
Yeah, he's very.
We still waiting on Chicks Tape 6, brother.
Well, I got a question. Can we just talk about Young Thug right quick? Cause
All right.
No, there's
I was about to say, what you want to talk about?
everybody snitching on him. Taking
Rico
a plea.
I seen somebody. No, I got a question. I do have a question about this thing, so we're going to talk about it real quick. I seen something that like somebody in Atlanta was like, y'all don't really know what kind of terror YSL is out here on these Atlanta streets. And if Young Thug is the catalyst of that, don't you think he does deserve to be in jail?
But I'm talking about all the other people taking a plea against him. Like y'all know what y'all signed up for. when y'all joined this
I
thing.
agree with that. That snitching shit is, What about Gunna? I mean, is Gunna a civilian? He just raps. See, I don't know. I never know.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about Gunna.
Yeah, me neither. Like
He said he was just YSL the record label, but of course everyone's going.
Yeah, everybody is.
When it gets shitty, but I think he contributes to both sides.
They tried to say he won't snitch, and I was like, I don't know, man. That plea, we heard what you
them
said.
questions that he was asking, he was dry snitching.
That's
Right.
big snitching. Nah, that ain't even dry. That's I'm about to say wet snitching. I don't know what that is.
If
He
you
was
just took it out in
telling,
the car and it
bro.
wasn't yours,
Yeah.
then you're saying it was his.
He was saying he seen them commission crimes and all that. That's
And he knew what it was when he joined the label. You
Yeah.
think he didn't know?
Yeah.
He knew what it was.
well.
Y'all sticking beside y'all man if he snitch?
No way, Jose.
You gotta ask me that.
Y'all leaving them for snitching. Y'all like go in there and do that motherfucking time.
Do that bit.
And keeping it hard, like man, the fuck up in there.
Cause at this point, I don't trust you.
You might snitch on me.
Right. What you gonna
What you gonna do to me?
What you gonna
That's
do to
a
me?
whole nother way to look at
What
it.
you gonna
Cause
do
you
to
was
me?
so loyal to him when y'all was out. Now
Right.
look at what you doing to him.
Because the women be doing the opposite. Their girls be the ones telling them to snitch. They be the
That's
ones
just
like
because
telling
they don't want
them
him to go
come
to jail and they don't want the money to stop.
You go
I
and
like
do
men
your
that can
100 years
take
and find
accountability.
somebody else.
She got hit. I'm gonna yeah.
Find
Nah, bro.
somebody else.
I know.
And then I gotta watch my back when I'm with you.
Yeah,
Like,
fact.
now they out.
The niggas like, no, you stay in there.
Right.
Look, they outside snitching on him like, yo, he did that shit.
I'm good.
Y'all funny.
All right, man. Y'all always welcome back. I keep telling
All
y'all.
day.
Y'all want
All
to
day.
come
All
by.
day. All
This is
day.
what we're going to be on. We're going to be doing, if y'all got some clips, y'all want to come in here. Whatever y'all want to do, y'all let
We
me
coming
know.
back with our topics.
All right, bet.
No doubt, no doubt.
No
What-
relationships.
That's
She hate
so
talking
hard.
about
I love
relationships.
talking
I
about
love talking about relationships. She
I mean,
hates
that's
it. I
the best
love
thing
it.
to talk about.
It is.
It's so fun.
In 2023, they said they wanted the relationship podcast to go away, but I feel like it's
The rest of them. Everybody else could go.
Either way, it's pivotal for people that like, people trying to find somebody, and it's a lot of like Chris said, it's scary out here. I ain't gonna lie. If I was dating, I'd probably be out here killing shit. I ain't gonna hold you.
But it's a ubiquitous topic though. It's something that no matter what economic position you're in, what race you're in, we all deal with it. We all have love and want to be loved. So I don't think it ever goes away. I think the conversations may change, but I mean we've been talking about love for forever.
So make sure you
like, subscribe, hit the bell. Hit the bell. LA Podcast, Daddy. LA Podcast, Daddy.